This morning, January, February, March. This morning, March 21st, I have a lot of things that have plagued me for such a long time. And having more than, I don't even want to mention the amount of members that NAAIP has. But having those members across the country, having those members separated from the reality, the truth, the necessary tools to protect themselves because of constant sabotage. And for those who don't know and who are not aware, the naaipi.com has been down for nearly 9 days, almost 2 weeks. It was hacked, and I've elected at this particular time not to reawaken it. Let it rest for a while. It has caused me to come out of the shadows and into the forefront of communication directly to everyone, literally without much regard to what the collective unified states might be concerned about. At any rate, we were talking about courts, and this entire process of communication is about tribal jurisdiction and the necessity for understanding and implementing the diversity of tribal jurisdiction, not just on tribal territory, but all across the lands. These lands in the what's called the United States, these separate countries, these separate domains, those lands were never purchased by the United States. And under 18 U.S.C. 1151, those lands are still tribal territory, Indian land. The description is under United States Code, under 18 U.S.C. 1151. I encourage all to go there. I encourage all to understand most of the code under USC, 25 USC. You can actually go and download that, and if they should, at the government publishing office, for some reason you can't find it, you can always find it by contacting me. I don't necessarily have the means to provide it to you right this moment, but should you email me at tushkahumak@gmail.com, I'll send that information to you. These communications have become necessary to provide immediate information to the members of NAAIP, many of whom, as I said earlier, are dealing with child custody issues, rights issues, foreclosure issues, debt issues, criminal issues of all sort. And there are provisions laid out, because every crime is not necessarily a crime. Most crimes in every state are violations of statutes and codes, and those statutes and codes are for U.S. citizens, not for those living in the tribal domain. Those statutes and codes violate Indian or American Aborigine rights, indigenous people's rights every day. We need to put an end to that. So this process of communicating with tribes across the country is a means to assist in implementing judicial diversity, allowing them an opportunity to also enjoy the benefits and the fruits of the law that permeates in our lives completely. As we move forward in communicating in these days to come, I'm going to send you to a location called Scribd, SCRIBD. At Scribd, you will find the documents that I will happen to be talking about at that particular time. So you'll be able to download that document and read along in some cases, but definitely you'll be able to study that document so that it can be implemented into your vocabulary and into your mind, so that you can make sure that you embed the protections that you need from those documents into your psyche, so that you can generationally prepare to educate those to follow. The law is not a tricky scheme. We've tricked ourselves into believing that the law was our law. The law for us belongs in Article 3. It's constitutional. All the courts across the country are legislative territorial courts. They can provide constitutional protections anytime the judge chooses. If he does not choose to follow the Constitution, there's no obligation for him to follow the Constitution. That law is in place. But at the district court in the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., it's a different venue. It's the Article 3 venue. And there are only Article 3 courts ordained by Congress. That's in Washington, D.C., that's in Hawaii, and Puerto Rico. Those are the only 3 constitutional courts for the United States, period. All the other courts are territorial, legislative, meaning that those laws and rules can change at the whim of the legislature. Those are corrupt courts. Those are not the courts for the American Aborigine. Those are not the courts for the Native American, for the American Indian. Unfortunately, we have all these different classifications, but that's what they've done to us. And that's what we have become. So as we fight our way out of this box concerning jurisdiction, TUSHKA Talks will be there to assist you. You can eventually present questions, because I may decide to go this thing Facebook Live, where questions can be asked. If the necessary emails require that I go Facebook Live, I will do that. But in the interim, it is necessary to know that the things that I say to you are tried and true. The torts that were filed for the Pokanoket and for the Mashapog, Nahagansett, that's the tribe or the nation that's heralded by Raymond Two Hawks Watson, a former student of mine. We will discuss that tort openly. I will share with you the secrets of how to proceed in Article 3 jurisdiction. We will examine environmental racism and how it affects all tribes, how all tribes are affected by it, and who's perpetuating environmental racism, how the Standing Rock injunction was created and filed to the Army Corps of Engineers. We will discuss and examine how you can move forward in filing torts concerning your tribal lands, your tribal children, culture. We will examine what it's going to take for you to protect yourself in the coming age of the indigenous population here in America. It's beginning to unfold. And NAAIPI has taken a strong position at unfolding those informations. And we will continue to unfold those informations as we are doing so right now in providing information concerning your jurisdiction. If you are in foreclosure, we will discuss foreclosure. We will discuss the facilitation of canceling that contract, of reassigning that land and transferring that land to the tribe. This is any Indian person in the country. If you own land, property, home outside of the reservation, that land can be protected. If that land is in foreclosure or some form of lien situation, that land can be transferred with the stroke of a pen to the tribe. It becomes tribal property at that point and no longer your property. Therefore, the tribe protects it under tribal law, under international law. Transfer the deed to the tribe. Save the property. Transfer all property to the tribe, including your children, and save the children. Save yourself by transferring yourself to the tribe if you are not within a tribal construct. These are the things that we will discuss over the next days to come on TUSHKA Talks. I'm looking forward. And I'm looking forward to establishing the necessary mechanism for sure where we can do open forum questions and answers, because that's the most needed part of all that we do. Members in tribes across the country are suffering because they don't know what to do. We assist in what to do. We are what to do. There is no mechanism in place. And it's unfortunate that I'm just one person. And it's unfortunate that we don't house a huge administration that cares about what happens next with tribal people. But TUSHKA cares. And TUSHKA's now talking. And TUSHKA's not going to stop talking, because the truth has to be held forward. The remedy has to be provided to all. So meticulously, I will provide the remedy to every single thing that one may have a problem with in the tribal venue. Every single thing that one may have a problem with in the tribal venue, we will discuss and most likely provide remedy. The universe is working heavily through us, and we have been fortunate to find remedy. And we are thankful that Grandfather has provided us with this time. And we're thankful that you intend to put in the effort to move the mountains. This is TUSHKA. Aho.